Hi everyone, my name is Lizzie Chan. I'm a member of the CPR Institute's Young Leaders in Alternative Dispute Resolution Steering Committee. I am delighted to host today's episode of our Corporate Counsel interview series. The Y-ADR seeks to educate the next generation of leaders on the full spectrum of dispute prevention and resolution mechanisms, and to provide an insider's view into how CPR's community of corporate counsel, law firm counsel, and other experts in the field are using dispute prevention and resolution techniques to manage conflict. As part of this goal and this interview series, we will ask corporate counsel to share their in-house perspectives on dispute resolution mechanisms and their advice for young practitioners. Today we welcome Brittany Mouzourakis, who is counsel complex litigation at General Motors in Detroit. She also participates in the Y-ADR Steering Committee. Hi, Brittany. We're so happy to have you today. My first question for you is, what is your role at GM?
Well, first off, thank you and good morning, Lizzie. I'm really excited to be here today to talk with you. So my role at GM, I am in-house counsel in our complex litigation division. And within that role, I handle a variety of litigation matters, particularly class action matters, commercial matters, as well as any other form of general litigation. Sometimes this can be in the dealership context as well. And so there's a variety of litigation matters that I handle, and it's always exciting and new, different work.
How did you start your career, and how did you transition to GM?
Yeah, so out of law school, I had an amazing opportunity to clerk for a federal judge in Detroit. And I did that for 2 years, and it was a fantastic experience where I was able to really study the law and have a lot of opportunity to think about the law and really practice and hone in on my writing skills, which I think as a lawyer is one of your most important skills that you have. After clerking for 2 years, I then entered private practice at a Michigan law firm. And there I focused my practice primarily on automotive clients. In Southeast Michigan, the automotive industry is obviously a very, very big industry for the state of Michigan. And I actually am from Southeast Michigan, so I grew up around the automotive industry. I have family in the automotive industry, and so I always knew that I would, to some extent, be involved in this industry. And so I had a variety of automotive clients that I represented in private practice, particularly in the class action context. After a few years working in private practice, I learned that there was a position that was opening at General Motors for somebody with experience in class actions. And I thought this would be a really natural fit. I had always had a desire to go in-house, and so I applied, and here I am a year and a half later and working for General Motors.
What advice do you have for young lawyers?
So I think for young lawyers, there's so much advice that you could give, but I really think one of the most important things, and as I previously mentioned, is to really have strong writing skills and to really hone in on your writing skills. I used to tell people when I was clerking, and I still do, that I write for a living, and that is our greatest skill, is to be able to write effectively and concisely. So I tell all young lawyers to really focus and very intentionally hone your writing skills. And then second, really take on opportunities, seize on opportunities, and really try to be involved in a variety of different kind of cases, gain exposure to a variety of areas of law, and don't turn down opportunities. When you're a young attorney, you have all the opportunities before you, so you should really take advantage of those opportunities and seize on them.
That's really great advice. And what tips do you have for outside counsel to work effectively with in-house counsel?
Sure. So I have 2 big tips, I think, that outside counsel can help their inside counsel effectively. The first is inside counsel, they're very busy. We have a lot of different matters that we're handling, and we're switching from one topic to the next. And so I think being mindful of your in-house counsel's time and really trying to get deliverables in their hands with at least 2 to 3 business days so that your in-house counsel can review and provide any feedback necessary. I think that's really, really helpful. And in the litigation context, things arise and you have to move quickly, but to the extent you can provide those deliverables to your in-house counsel, I think that's a very, very great way to help them. Second, I think it's really important for outside counsel to draw out or synthesize the most important aspects of a brief or a motion or even like a hearing. So when outside counsel is reporting back on a hearing or synthesizing what happened in a motion that was filed against the client, then I think what outside counsel can do is really kind of pull out the 3 or 4 points that are most important for inside counsel to know so that they can easily digest that information and take it in quickly and go on about their day. So I think those are the 2 points that I would say can be very helpful.
And what is your advice for external counsel looking to find clients?
Yeah, I think, the best way to find clients is to be, first off, very authentic in what you do. And I think if you are involved, for example, if you are involved in organizations like Federal Bar Association or local bar associations or women's bar associations, for example, I think those kinds of organizations, if you really have a passion for them and you like to work in them, I think that they can be a great way for you to meet new people and to eventually find clients. And I think one thing to know about that is that you may go to events or you may chair a committee of the Federal Bar Association and you might not get a client today or next month, but I think it's about the long game. And I think just those connections, people will remember the work that you've done. And I think that's a great way to meet clients. The other way that I think that you can meet clients is to help existing clients. So I know at General Motors, we ask our outside lawyers to help us in pro bono initiatives or to help us sit on panels that discuss a variety of topics. And, we make those requests to our outside counsel. And I think taking advantage again of those opportunities, raising your hand, and I think that you'll be exposed to not only the lawyer that you know at the company, but also other lawyers at the company. And I think the more you can get your name out there and be known by other people is one of the best ways that you can and find new clients.
I will definitely try to put all this into practice. And my final question for you is, since your first contact with ADR, what has changed?
Yeah, so my first contact with ADR was actually a university course that I took as part of my legal studies minor in college. So I was probably 20 or 21 years old, and I took this class called Alternative Dispute Resolutions, and I had no idea what it was about, but I quickly learned that we covered a variety of topics, including negotiation, mediation, arbitration, binding, non-binding. And so it was in a purely academic context in which I learned about these other avenues of resolving disputes that are outside of the courts. I think for most of us, we think about lawyering as in the litigation context. So I was learning about all of these other ways that we can resolve conflict. From there, when I actually became a lawyer and when I was at the federal courts and also in private practice, I was able to see how these forms of ADR can be put into practice. So when I was at the federal court, there's oftentimes discussions before a pretrial conference about whether settlement's possible and potential negotiations. So I got to see it on that side. And then when I was in private practice, I also participated in mediations and arbitrations and got to see it on the advocate side. So it really changed from being an academic exercise to actually putting these forms of alternative dispute resolution into practical form as a lawyer.
Thank you so much for your time today, Brittany, and for sharing your insights. And thank you as well to our audience for tuning in.
Well, thank you so much, Lizzie. It's been great talking to you.